Hello everyone, thanks for coming by this Friday. We're going to do part 2 of the Resin Rose Assemblage. And what we're going to do today is really simple. We're going to put a neckline on the necklace, and we're also going to finish up by setting the little pearls and stuff. And we may not actually get the whole thing finished because setting the little pearls and things is kind of fiddly work. So we'll have to see how that goes, but at least you'll have the concept of it, what the finished necklace is going to look like. And then maybe this weekend you can get your things out and see what you can do with your own resin roses and your own blanks for assemblage. So come on over here, as I always say. Actually this week, I gotta tell you, this week Javi has experimented with a whole new way of getting a close-up so you can see what I'm doing without me having to work upside down all the time. Woohoo! So thanks to all those who wrote in suggestions about that, pitied me for having to work upside down. And I liked one really well. Someone said, why don't you just get a Lazy Susan? And that's really good. And I did have one, but I think we sold it at the yard sale when we left the shop. So anyway, we're going to do it this way. She looked at some YouTube videos, and I think she's got it down. So you see what you think, okay? So now, come on over here and let's finish this necklace on up. All right. So here we are with the famous necklace that we started last week. And, oh, my fan just fell. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, so you can see what kind of a neckline treatment I'm putting on it. What I did is I took 3 lengths, 7.5 inches of rosary style chain or beaded link chain, link of beaded chain, whatever you want to call it. And I put them on the necklace. And the way I did that was very simple. I just threaded them onto a simple jump ring. You can see right here. I just put them on the jump ring and hooked them in. There's a little hole here and here. And the assemblage, remember last week when I told you it's a really good idea to be sure you leave clearance here, and that's because you want to be able to get this in. Okay, so this is just 7.5 inches. I'm strung on one little gold jump ring, which is attached to another one that goes into the opening on the necklace. And then, of course, the back, I've attached it again, similar way, and then put my extender. I always put an extender on a necklace. There's almost never a time when I would not put an extender on a necklace. It's just the best thing to do because if somebody needs a little bit more room, there it is. You don't have to worry about anything. So what I decided to do though is I thought it would be nice to take this and twist it, which is what I've done on the other side, as you can see. That's kind of what they call torsade style, and I kind of have a unique way of making it stay. Well, maybe it isn't unique, but I thought it was. Anyhow, what I do is I just take this chain and then I'm just going to twist it, just turn it until I get, I'm just trying to turn it evenly until it is about the same length as the other side. Yeah, I'm good. But I don't want to get it twisted too funky down here because then it could twist this and make kind of a kink right down here. So you want to be sure that your last piece is not creating a kink. This isn't. Okay. This side is just a little bit longer, I see, than this side, but that's okay because it's at the back part. And to be honest with you, I put this on, and I like my necklaces to be of this style, 18 to 22 inches. But when I put this on me, it just seemed a little long, so the twisting helped to bring it up without having to take the whole thing apart, cut pieces off, and then reattach. So I kind of like this, and I thought it was kind of a pretty finish too. Don't you? Okay. So now, this is not going to stay like this, guys. Twist. I mean, if I took this and I put it on, it would stay while I was wearing it, but in the long run, it's not going to stay unless I make keepers for it, something to hold it in place. So you're going to have to pardon me. This is fiddly work, and I don't do it every day. So I know what I'm doing, but it's not going to look like it. But what I do, and actually these are 6mm jumps that I'm using. 4s might be better, I don't know, but or maybe a little thinner gauge, but I always use an 18 gauge. What I'm going to do just simply is go through and just kind of catch. And like I say, guys, this is fiddly. I can do it, you can do it, I just don't know about on camera. It's going to look really clumsy. I can turn this again. I may only do 1 or 2 and then finish it later, just for, you know, sake of time, so you don't have to sit here and watch me suffer. Okay. The main thing is you have to make sure that you have it all the way around. Okay, it looks like I do. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to need to use, this is not a jumpy tool job. You got to get the jump to come all the way together. Okay, so that guy just flipped out. He flipped out on me. May your beads never flip out on you. Okay, I got it good enough. It just, all it does is just kind of hold it in place, but you got to make sure that that jump ring is flush because you don't want it sticking out. But you know, if a person knows they're in there, they'll see them, but they don't. It's kind of a good way to do it because they don't stand out. You know, you don't look like, oh, what's that lump in there? You know, they blend. So long as you have the right color jumps to go with the chain that you've selected or beads or whatever. So I would go down, oh, maybe to here and do it again. And you can go, if you're able to get through the holes in the bead and link chain or the rosary type chain, that's best if you can. But it's not always possible. So, and you may not catch all 3 nuts either. But so long as you get some. Of course, see now I didn't catch that. Now it is making a little bit lumpy, so maybe I should go back and try it again. It's good to show you all the possibilities of it. I will get this. I will. If I could go through the link. I told you this is fiddly. Maybe an 8mm would be better. I just don't want it loose. If it's loose, then it's going to look not good either. So I'm going to just do this one more so you get the sense of it. And then after that, it's pretty much just messing around with it till you find your technique. And if I beaded more, I would probably have this down to a science. But I will tell you, I have made quite a number of pieces in the past where I use this technique, and it's just fine. The pieces sold and everybody loved their jewelry, so that's what it's all about. Like the hokey pokey. Oh, you're too young to know that. Hokey pokey. Yeah, it doesn't want to cooperate with me now. I did this whole side here. I've got one here, here. Here's another one. Here's another one. So it proves I can do this. It's just fiddly, and I don't know if I want to waste your time with this. I got one in, but I don't know. I might have to fiddle with it, and I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing, because then somebody will have to have something to say about it. And be honest with you, I try to not let those comments bother me. They don't really bother me. They make me sad when somebody has to make a big deal out of it, or say I'm not a good teacher, whatever. I know that. I know I'm not the best teacher, but you know what I'm doing is I'm sharing. Okay? I'm sharing. This is how I do it, and you know, you can come and join us at the creative group, and you can show us how you do it. And if you have a better way, boy, we want to know. Okay, I got the second one on. I'm going to leave the rest for later. As you can see, it just kind of makes little, just little pockets, like little scallops. As you go down, this will cause that. And it's a very, very pretty finish. Very, very pretty. This looks very nice on. But what we need to do now is we need to finish the front. And I'm not going to get all this set because I'm slow at this. In fact, I'm going to go take a little class here in about a week and a half on how commercial factory sets stones so that I can learn to be fast. And then I'll share that with you. But what I noticed last week when I went back and I looked at the video myself, and I saw that we had like a major open space underneath this hoop. And it didn't look good at all, guys. I'm sure you noticed it too. So later, after we were finished, I pushed that up under there, and it's not bad now. But there are still some things that could be remedied with this. I don't like to see a lot of cracks, and that's why the finish work on this is going to take time, because it's kind of like working a puzzle. But I'm going to show you the basics of things to look for. Okay, I do love that neckline. That is so pretty. That is so pretty. Just have to get it all twisted and hooked right, and then it'll be fine. You could, you know what? You could also take a fine bit of wire and run through there, but you'd have to be careful it didn't get too stiff if you did that. It might get too stiff. What do you think, Hobby? It might get too stiff.
It might get too
stiff. You're the wire girl. She does so good with her wire. Someday we'll have to have her make the video of wire. She probably won't do it though. She's shy. Okay, so another thing I'm looking for is I'm looking for glue globs, and I'm looking for little strings, and I don't really see too many of those, so that's a good thing. Oh, and I wanted to show you, do you see how neat it is on the back? I've got very, very little cleanup work here to do. Very, very little. I need to do some polishing, and I need to sign my name. The only glue that I see that's kind of overrun is a little bit right here, a little bit right here, a little bit up here, and to be honest with you, that much really doesn't matter. And if I pulled that off, I might compromise the piece, because it had come out of a chunk of the piece, and you might have a lot of glue come out, and it might weaken your piece. So I would say, if this is all that's showing, you did well, and don't worry about it. Okay, but now I want to get this right in here. See, there's a little string. I'll take care of this later. But there's a little place right in here that I want to get something. So this is what I'm going to do, guys. I got my trusty E6000, and I have what looks to be about a 10mm, give or take, flat back pearl. I did not measure it, but that's what it looks like eyeballing it. And I'm going to give a little bit, and I do this by hand. I don't use the tweezers for this. Okay, now I'm going to take and slide that in there. Okay, did you see how I did that? So now I got that crack that was there kind of covered up, and it won't look so bad now. I mean, there's still more that I could do, but you know, that's another thing. As you go along, you start covering this, you start covering that, you start covering this, you start covering that, and you end up with a paperweight, like I told you. You know, you really want to avoid that paperweight look. So you have to be careful. Some things you're just going to have to let go, and just don't worry about it. Okay, so now I'm going to get started, and I'm going to start filling some of these holes. Now I'm going to use some Rosemontees. Did you know you can use a Rosemontee as a setting? I bet you did. I probably said it before sometime. I don't know. But I like to use them instead of flat back stones sometimes, because they're in a mount, you know, and they just look a little bit more finished, whereas a flat back stone is just flat back stone. And also because this is a foil back stone, if it's in a mount, then you need to use hypotube cement instead of the E6000. So where do I want to put this first? I think I'll put it here. And then I see a hole here. Do you guys see that? I don't like that. So what are we going to do about that? Well, let's see if I got a big enough pearl to stick in there. And what I'm going to have to do to get at that, and it's okay to do this because it's dry now since last week, is I'm going to have to take and stick that baby in there. So this might look a little clumsy too, but I really do know how to do this. You know, I always say, you know what proves you know how to do something half decent? Is when you sell it. Really. If people are going to give you their hard-earned money, and these days, baby, it's hard-earned. You can bet that. For something that you made, it's probably done quite well. Or at least they think it is. They think it is. Normally it is. So, you don't have to worry. And when you set these, there's little holes right here, you know, for your pass-through. I don't know, is that showing, Javi? Okay, so you can grab it that way too. You don't want to get too much on there, but you want to get enough. Okay, so I like one here. Kind of close it up. I still have a gap in here, you see that? So I'm going to need to take something and put that in. That's why these little flat pack pearls are your friend. They be's your friend. I'm going to take it and I'm going to put that in there. See? I love to see like clusters of pearls in a piece. So long as, you know, like I say, you don't start getting that paperweight look. Then that's not desirable. Paperweight look, no. You've overdone it if you get to that. Still think one needs to be in there though. I had bought a lot of these out, but I don't know if they're going to go that far. Another thing you want to be careful is you don't get any on your pearls. If you do, you can go back when it's all said and done with a swab and some Goo Gone, and you can get it off if it's showing. If it's not showing, don't worry about it. You have to be a little forgiving with this work, guys. You want clean, you want neat, you want balance, you want flow, movement. But perfection, I'm sorry. I've never seen perfection in an assemblage piece yet. And I don't think I ever will. And that's okay. Because they're handmade, dang it. Right? Dang it. Yeah, they're handmade. Alright. So I'm just going to keep going, guys. And it's going to be a trade-off between Pearlies and Rosemontees. And I'm probably going to do pearls where it looks like it would get bumped easiest, because a flat back is going to hold better. I think. It's my experience that it usually does. So but also too, you got to go for the aesthetics of it. Like, I'd really like to put a sparkler there. What do you think? Would that be pretty? And here too would be. But I have to get this bent back down, and you got to be careful because I've got wetness here. Now hold it and bend it down. When this is dry, I can get it better. I just don't want to compromise my piece. Okay, that's good. Okay, I think I will put a Rosemontee there. Time to clean the tip. Alright. So, I'm going to do this. And I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to go ahead tonight and get this piece finished. I'm probably going to finish it before I go back upstairs to make supper for Javi and Robbie. So that way we can get a picture of it and put it, I'm going to do a little email newsletter in the morning. So we could get a picture and put it in there so you can see how it came out when it was all said and done. That'd be nice. So let me get a Rosemontee on there like I said I would. Yeah, there's some fiddling to this. It's, to be honest with you, it's probably going to take me about an hour and a half to finish this. Really, because I'm very fussy about where I put things, and also I don't want the glue to show. There, get my finger out of there so you can see I put it right here. And then whatever cleanup there might be. So it takes time, kind of, like I say, it's like working a puzzle. So I'm going to put a few more on. And that's, pretty much going to be what I share today, because, how many times do you need to be shown how to put a flat back on there? You guys probably already know that. But it's about, like I say, form, flow, movement when you make these pieces. You don't want to get them too high. It's really easy with assemblage. You get this mound way up in the middle. I've done it. I've done it even recently. I had to take the piece completely apart. So that's no good. So you guys are probably even seeing stuff that I'm not. I think I need something. Let's just talk a minute about where I think I need something substantial. I think I need something in here. I need something right here. In fact, I'm going to do that because I know what I'm going to use. I have it already bent. I love these little filigree leaves. Can you see that? Because you can bend them, and they give a lot of circling movement to your piece. I don't have too many of them right now in Russian gold plate or raw. They're on their way, or so they say. My order's on its way. But we do have a ton of them in rose ox, rusty black. Now see, I made a mess there. How will I deal with that? Well, you kind of have to sometimes get a blob of glue in there so that the piece is gonna hold, but you don't want it hanging out bad. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna kind of brush that along the side there and inside. You see that? I took care of that. That'll hold up just fine. That'll hold up just fine. Especially if I was to take and put a little pearl here, because that would help to anchor it. So I'm going to turn it around this way so that I can see. Now you guys can see from this angle, and that's kind of nice for you. I'm gonna put something in here to anchor it. Let's see. I think I want a pretty good size pearl. See, that's a lot of what assemblage is too, you know, placing things so that, learning to place things so that the piece will be strong, you know, and not precarious and wobbly and ready to come apart at the first opportunity. You know, get it. Now see, I've got a little hole here. So I think I'm going to slide this back. If I can. No, I can't. Can't do it. This is too big. But that looks pretty there. It's a happy little pearl. It's a happy little pearl. I got a little hole right here though I don't like, and I see another one here. So I'm going to take something tiny and small like this, pearly. And I'm going to see if it'll go in there. Nope, it won't. Will not go in there. So probably what I have to do is take some no-hole pearls, little itty-bitty ones. Now here's where it gets fiddly. Oh geez, I hate this. This is what I'm going to learn how to do at the factory when I go out here in a couple weeks. They are going to show me how they do it so quickly. Okay, I got it down in there, so it's nice, and I don't have a crack anymore, but I got to scoot this back up now. In fact, you know what? I may have to replace it because it's gotten really soiled with glue. So, bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm going to get another one. Another thing that is really good for like filling the cracks in your assemblage pieces is micro beads. What you do to set them is you just take your toothpick and you just put a little blob of glue there, and then you just kind of pour them on it and tamp them down. Another thing that works really good, sometimes they fill a crack, I've got a few here, is to use a teardrop rhinestone. That'd be pretty. So I may do a little bit of that. See, that came apart because I don't have my keepers in it yet. And I see where I need to do some more on the other side as well. But it'll be good once I get it all done. Okay. And then you remember how I said last week I don't like stuff sticking up too much. You don't want your piece too high, and you don't want stuff sticking up. Sometimes you just press it with your finger. They're very malleable. This piece is going to look really pretty when I get it all done. But yes, it's going to take me a while to set them, but I think you can see where our areas are. We got a little place in here that needs to be filled. Do you see that, guys, in here? Underneath looks pretty good. Yeah. See a glue string there I want to get rid of. And I got little cracks here and little cracks here. Yeah. Not too much fill that it has to be done yet. I'll have to put something interesting there. I don't know. What about this heart? Hey, I kind of like that. What do you think? I think that's kind of good because you have the balance then of these pieces to the side, and then this is a kind of a secondary focal. I think I'm going to put that on there. Yep, I'm going to put that on there. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Well, I think I'm going to stop with the video for here so that I can go ahead and finish my piece, which I will show you later. But I had one last thing I wanted to show you before I go. And if Javi will be so kind as to put over, you want to hand me that little round frame? Remember last week I was showing you frames and stuff that I did? Well, I did one frame. I finished it up finally, and here's the last one. I'm just doing the finishing touchstones. Is this showing up, Javi? Good. But this is for another friend that I'm going to see. And once again, I used the Busted Bling Resin Roses, my special bead that I love. Lots of my pearls. I see I've got a little bit of cleanup to do, but I'll just get some glue on a swab. This was really kind of easy. This one went together in like an hour. It was so fast. Easy to get flow on a piece like this because it's already round, see? And then what I did too for flow, just to point it out, I put these little beads here, this little beads here, this 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 here. It makes movement when you do that. Okay, so if you haven't tried a frame yet before, you might like to do that sometime if you have enough materials. And of course, you know, as I often mention, at Bisou Boutiques, we have the good stuff. And right now, I don't have any Busted Bling to sell you. We only have that couple times a year. That comes from a major manufacturer that has jewelry that came back as RTVs, returned to vendors from department stores and stuff, and it's all broken up. And so we get some good focals and itty bits out of there. But I only get it a couple of times a year, and I don't have a lot. So in the meantime, you know, you may have some repurposed bits you can use, which is fine, so long as you're not breaking things up. You know, you need to know what you have. Things could be valuable. You might get a whole lot more money out of a piece by not breaking it up. That's responsible repurposing. But then see, you can add in some little leaves from Bisou Boutique, some rhinestone chain, the little ceramic roses which we carry, a lot of little things, and just mix it up, and it adds some texture to the work, and instead of just all big chunks of broken jewelry. Okay guys, well, I've said all I'm going to say for today. I'm going to go ahead and finish my necklace, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll probably have another video in about 3 weeks. I'll be back from my trip, and maybe by then I'll be really good at setting stones fast. We'll see. I might need a lot of practice. But anyway, thanks a lot, and do come see us at BisouBoutiques.com. Bye.